have to take stock of what's actually happening around you instead of sugarcoating it or ignoring it.
Like a kind of objective, here's the state of things.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, if you're only looking at the negatives, you're also not choosing reality, because the reality is, if you're here, you've got good things going for you. Welcome back to another episode of At Our Place with Megan and Sherelle. I'm Sherelle.
And I'm Megan.
If you haven't been here before,
Welcome.
Wow.
Welcome to our place.
Okay. We are wives turned bandmates, and now we're podcast hosts.
Yep.
And a bunch of other things too.
We're just women who can do it all.
We're creatives. That's what the LA people are saying. Did I ever
Are
tell you?
saying or have said?
That's what they say. That's how they describe themselves. No shade to you guys, but I hate how people describe how they're creatives.
I feel like we could describe ourselves as creatives.
I just don't like the word. You can say I am creative, but when you say I am a creative,
I'm a creator.
Yes,
like
it's
God.
Just weird. So you're not a creative. You're creative.
I'm creative. What if somebody was like, what do you do? And you were like, us that do a bunch of creative stuff. And we're like, I'm creative.
I like that more than saying I'm a creative.
You know what? I think that should be the new norm. Like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm creative. I'm funny.
Just give a bunch of positive adjectives about it.
I'm adventurous. I like long walks
really
on the
brave.
beach.
I'm really bold.
Really strong.
I'm a positive person.
And I just happened to type on the computer.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. I've been having kind of a rough week. We'll get into that later. But in this current moment, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. You know what I've been trying to do lately?
No, what?
Instead of, not that you have to do this or anything.
What?
But I've personally been trying to say and instead of but. Like, I am good and I'm tired. Or I don't know why. Is that better or not?
I don't know. It's your thing.
Like, I'm having a hard time and I'm doing good.
It's probably more accurate because I feel like we say but because it's like, don't worry about me. I'm still doing good. I'm still, even though this is shitty.
Yeah, it's like we put a bunch of disclaimers on everything, or like justifications, or I don't even know what you would call it, but I've been saying and a lot basically.
Good for you.
Thanks.
I don't know if I'll remember to do that, but I applaud your efforts.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'm doing well, and I'm tired, and I'm excited to see a couple of our friends tomorrow for dinner.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yes, I think I've been reflecting, and I think 2024 is going to be the year of friends and seeing some sort of friend every week-ish.
Nice. We tend to get into our little creative hole and not come out for months on end.
It's been driving me a little bit crazy lately, so I'm like excited to see people. I feel like we're getting antsy.
See, I'm excited to see our friends, but I feel like because of the holidays, we've just been around so many people that it's been kind of nice having a down week.
Oh yeah?
But I am excited to see people. Yeah, I've realized, like, especially this week, I just don't have that much in me, you know? But I am an extrovert through and through, so I get filled up even if I'm just sitting around somebody else.
Sitting around me.
Yes. Unless that person's draining, then scram, clown.
Wah, wah, wah.
I've had some dreads. I've had some friends.
Dreads? What?
Yes. I've had some drens. Those are friends who drain.
Dud friends.
Some duds. No, some people have draining personalities. You know who you are. They're not listening to our podcast.
I think the point is they don't know who they're. That'd
be so sad if you were draining and you didn't know it.
Babe, for myself, I don't believe that certain types of people are draining. I feel like it's like each individual social meter. Like you and I never get drained from you, but
to blame it on the person.
It's
I don't
not
want to
me,
take
it's
the
you.
responsibility for that.
Okay, well, for
good job.
me,
Your therapist would be happy with you if you had one.
Yes. Wait, are you talking to me?
Yes, you have a very enlightened perspective.
Thank you.
You win. You win at life.
Oh my gosh.
Did I beat therapy?
Don't even remember how we got here. I'm a little lost.
Okay, my ADHD and OCD are both coming out right now.
Oh no.
Because I'm curious and also really annoyed that you still have your Earl Grey tea bag in there.
What's wrong? What should I take it out?
It's just gonna be so bitter.
Oh.
Here, put it
Sherelle's
in here.
teaching me how to tea.
You just don't need it sitting in there.
Don't need it.
Time.
Okay, y'all.
It seemed long enough. Now enjoy.
Apparently a thing.
Get your sleeve out of there.
Apparently a thing people do with tea is they take the tea bag out of the cup.
You sip it and then you move it.
You sound so funny right now.
I sound so funny. I'm just
sip it and you move it.
You know what? That's the second time this evening you've insulted me because you told me I sounded like an old lady when I fell.
Wait. Okay, wait. Let me remember the moment.
You literally looked at me after I fell, screaming for my life.
Okay.
And you said I sounded like an old lady.
It was really funny. Sherelle was laying with her back on the bed and her head was like towards our door, and Aliko, our youngest dog, he was in the room and he was like playing around with Sherelle. He was like
attacking my head,
trying to lick her face, and she was like whacking him, which just made him even more playful.
I had my hoodie on and I was trying to keep him. He was trying to like nip at my hair and I was not having that, so I was like screaming trying to get him away.
They mess with each other and it's funny. You make it sound so like serious, like I don't know.
But that was like, okay, the position I was in was like
a vulnerable
if you're
one.
doing, yes, I was in a vulnerable position. If you're doing like a backflip in the air, I was like crunched up in that kind of ball.
Who's doing a backflip in the, okay, like
lots of people.
The upward,
like the upward backwards movement. It's like you're in the fetal position, but your head
somersault.
Yes, like a backwards somersault backflip. Back tuck, that's what it is.
Wait, why were you doing
I was doing like a back tuck on the bed. That's the position I was in. So my feet are above my head. Liko is attacking my head. And he just yanked a little too hard on my hood. And I fell.
Her legs were straight in the air.
I was trying to balance myself.
Your legs were straight in the air. Like you were falling.
I was flailing.
You were flailing. You were flailing and you were falling off the bed in a backwards somersault. and so the noise that she made.
I was terrified. Because my head was going
Oh my
Rude.
gosh. It was so funny. It was a full on like elder lady scream in the best way.
That's so mean.
That's not mean.
Elder lady.
That's not mean to anyone.
We have an age gap, so that hits hard.
What?
Can I say we have an age gap if I'm only 5 years older than you?
Not really.
I feel like that's like half a decade. Like that's an age gap. Like, do you feel?
Okay. Do you want me to call you like nicknames?
No, I don't. Unless you want me to call you kid and things.
No. And
like,
things.
Yeah.
No.
Kid and Co. If I ever have like a child's toy store, I'm gonna call it Kid and Co.
That's a really good idea.
Marketing.
You're creative.
I am a creative.
No, you are creative. Oh my gosh. This is what happens when we're
Nobody take it. I take it. It's copywritten right now because you heard it.
No, it's
Kid and
not.
Co.
Somebody else could literally trademark
I already
it.
trademarked it by now.
No, that's
by the time I release this, I already trademarked it.
That's copyright. Trademark is a legal thing.
I already did it. All the things, it's already mine. Don't get any ideas. Kid and Co. All mine.
Okay.
Anyway.
Should we introduce what we wanted to actually talk about today?
Yeah.
Because I want to explain the title.
They're concerned.
I want to explain. So
okay.
we came up with
Megan came up with a brilliant title.
We collaborated as always.
Our collaborations as a married couple is, I want to do this. No, I have a better idea. We're doing this. Okay.
I can't believe you just pulled out the anything you say, dear.
Well,
It's
in this
not
situation
true.
applies.
It's not true. Plus, you laughed your head off. Actually, that's really morbid. You laughed a lot. I don't know why people say that. Babe, that's why I was like this so morbid. Okay, today we wanted to talk about sadness. And we're clearly headed in the right direction. The title of this episode is... Oh, wait. I can't read my own notes.
That's embarrassing.
Sadness and joy are like a PB&J sandwich.
They know what the title is because they read it when they clicked on this.
Obviously.
So explain.
They have it more together than I do.
Explain.
So we came up with this title because, well, as a marketer, as a creative person, I thought you were talking about joy and sadness, holding them both together, and I was like, "Oh, PB&J go together, sadness and joy," and then Sherelle, no, you did this.
I don't know.
You said like, "What's that an acronym for?" And somehow we came up with.
You came up with.
You're like angrily trying to give me
credit. No, it's because I keep trying to get a word in. Anyway, keep going. What's the acronym?
Take the mic.
No. Oh, thanks. That's so progressive of you. Go ahead. I'll allow you to finish.
Thank you, Margaret. Okay. So PB&J actually, wouldn't you know it, stands for pretty bad and joy.
It's so bad, babe.
And we aligned sadness means pretty bad and joy is joy. So
yep.
There's that Rubik's Cube for you to think about.
Mine's blown. Thank you for that little acronym.
You're welcome.
Sadness and joy, like a PB&J.
They go together and it tastes delicious. But joy and sadness seem a little confusing to be together. So,
well, I've been feeling both this week, so I don't think they're that confusing.
So do you want to talk about what you're feeling with those, or do you want us to reflect on some experiences?
That's the same thing.
Wait. No, I guess
those are the same thing.
I guess I just meant, do you want to go first?
Got it.
Or do you want... Okay, yeah.
Do you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Just tell me what you want. We'll do that.
After you.
Okay. Oh, I'll take it away. So this week, I got some bad news. A lot of bad news all in the same day. It's been really fun. So you guys know that my ankle's been sprained. If you just got here, just know that Megan pushed me and I fell and now my ankle is sprained.
Tell the real story.
Okay. Fine.
We were running and she tripped.
We were out on a trail run and just getting a workout in, and Megan said, "Let's race." So I booked it. I was already ahead of her. I was way ahead of her, and I wanted to keep staying way ahead of her. So I sprinted because I'm a natural sprinter.
Okay.
We dwarves are natural sprinters.
What?
We dwarves are natural sprinters.
Oh, is that Lord of the Rings?
Yes, I married the right one. Anyway, so I sprinted and the trail wasn't exactly very even terrain, and I Don't know what happened, but I ended up on the ground clutching my ankle and
clutching your pearls,
screaming in pain. Flash forward to 5 weeks after the ER told me it's just a sprain. I still can't put weight on it, and every time I bump it, it feels like I just hurt it. It's been 5 weeks of this. I was hobbling in a boot over the holidays in crutches, doing the whole 9 yards, which is unlike any sprain I've had. So we went in to my primary care physician, and she looked at it. I sat down on that little bed thingy with the weird little paper on it.
The funny paper bed.
Yeah, and she sat in her little stool and grabbed my ankle and started poking at it and twisting it around, and I screamed in her face, and she said, "That's not a sprain. That is not a sprain at all. That's actually pretty bad." So now I have to do a bunch of MRIs and CT scans and things because she thinks it's fractured and or the inside ligament of my ankle is detached.
Also, can I just say the sky is crying for you right now?
The earth is sad.
It's really pretty, actually. I don't know if they can hear it.
I wish you guys could hear it. Some ASMR. It's like rainstorm outside.
I know, it's really beautiful.
What if there's like lightning and all this goes zzz?
That would be terrifying. So yeah, you got some pretty bad news. How are you handling it?
I'm all right. Well, that really sucked. And then I also found out, because you guys know I was going for the police academy, but it got pushed back because of my ankle. It got pushed back to the next round. So that same day, I came home to an email that basically said that they're discontinuing the program. So that means that everybody who was sponsored now isn't. And that's just that.
Basically, your thoughts of what could potentially be your next career steps and your thoughts on your bodily abilities have completely changed in a day.
Yeah, something that I thought was going to be a 5-week healing process and then back to the grind and then start this new job and this new career step has now just all been kind of thrown out the window because the ankle is going to take
Could take months.
Yeah, it's looking like 6 months.
Impossible.
And then some for physical therapy.
That's a lot. So you've been telling me like for a few days, for a little while, like you're just sad.
Yes, and that's really annoying, guys, because I keep crying. I can't. It's like I don't know why I'm just crying all the time, but I'm just sitting there and then I'm crying. And the thing is, like, I was supposed to start last week or 2 weeks ago, so now I have all this weird free time, and I've got to like look for a different job or apply for like some sort of disability while my foot heals. I don't know what I'm doing, basically.
Floating a little bit.
I mean, yes, I have like purpose and stuff, but
still, like, I don't know, like everything was uprooted in, I don't know, just a short while. And I'm sure you're not like the only one. Like if you're listening and you've ever had a period of time where you were unemployed or figuring out your job situation and just your purpose and your everyday life, I don't know, could probably relate to feeling stressed out and bored and confused all at the same time.
Yeah.
But
I don't think I feel bored. I think I just feel kind of useless. Because that's the other thing is like I went from having so much mental toughness and discipline the last year, like doing 75 hard program multiple times and just completely like changing my life and mentality the last 13 months to now being a lot more immobilized, a lot less mobile than I am used to. So
yeah. And you enjoy like working out and going outside and hiking, and it's
yeah, like I would hike every single day with our dogs, And now I'm...
Yeah. I literally can't for like months. That's
and
a lot.
I thought like, how do I get into the gym? Like, first of all, this is my driving foot, so I need to learn how to drive with my other foot. And then once I get there, can I use crutches to get in? And then what? Like every friend I have in there is gonna be like, go home.
That's so hard. That's so hard. So you had the idea of joy and sadness together. Yes. So what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
What was I thinking? Well, I don't want this episode to be a bummer for you guys, but sometimes, especially lately, we just have to be like, I don't know. I always want to be honest. Never want to fake it with you guys. So you get what we're really going through. I came to this realization because I'm reading Building a Non-Anxious Life by Dr. John Deloney. And so I got to the chapter where he's talking about choosing reality. And in order to choose reality, like that means that you have to take stock of what's actually happening around you, in your body, in your relationships, in your marriage, in your finances, in your career, and looking at it through like an actual, like a lens of reality instead of sugarcoating it or ignoring it.
Like a kind of objective, here's the state of things.
Yeah, because you can't change anything. You can't make anything better if you're just lying to yourself about how things are. And on the flip side of that, if you're only looking at the negatives, you're also not choosing reality, because the reality is, if you're here, you've got good things going for you. So I was taking like a hard look at my life, and I realized in the last 5 years I've had 4 major injuries to my body and mind, and in the last 5 years I've had like 4 major job shifts and career shifts that have all been painful and also not really my choice. So
yeah, it's been a really roller coastery 4 or 5 years for you.
Yeah. So, you know, whether it's because I had to walk away to save myself or to take a risk and step into something new, there's just been a lot of grief. And the also choosing reality is like, there's also been a whole hell of a lot of joy the last year, you know? Like,
what do you think about in the past like week? Because this week has been really hard. Like, I've seen you just be sad this week. Have you found joy this week? Have you been able to hold both? Is it just confusing?
It's confusing. The paradox is confusing because, you know, like we are privileged to be okay financially because you have a great job and we have some money. So there's a joy in not being stressed out, because I think this is probably the first time in my life where I don't actually have to stress when I lose a job. Not that I lost a job, but like I lost the job I was supposed to start. So yeah, that's nice. And then there's been joy because I have probably been on the phone more in the last 2 days than I have in the last 2 months with just people who love me, just constantly talking to me. So that's been nice. I've been having a lot of fun with our weird dogs. They bring me a lot of joy. And then I have so many creative things that I'm doing that just bring me so much joy.
Yeah, like I've seen you get like in the flow of things when you're editing videos or using our camera and playing music, stuff like that. Like I've just seen you get lost in that. For me, joy, maybe it's different for you. I should pick up that Brene Brown book again about emotions, what the technical definition is. Atlas of the Heart. But for me, when I think of joy, I think of like silly, fun, laughing. I just think of laughter, basically. What do you think of when you think of the word joy? Is it like a deeper thing?
I think laughter is a facet of joy, and also happiness. But when I think of joy, it's like, if I think about all the times I've been the most joyful in my life, it's been the times where I just feel at peace and content and thrilled about not necessarily my situation, but who I am and who I'm becoming in the situation. Like, it's just this deeper sense of I'm okay. And there's like a lot of hope in what I think joy is.
Oh, it can just be a roller coaster and holding those moments. There was a point when we went out for my grandma's funeral and just being together with all of my family, there was a lot of joyous moments. And then there was a lot of really sad moments because, it's a funeral. So, and then it was a joyous moment because we were all laughing about how the pastor had a horrible speech.
I remember that.
He
called you out in the middle. He called you. He looked directly at you in the front row and commented on you.
This is just an aside. So the pastor that spoke at my grandma's funeral, memorial, I don't know if funeral's like outdated or something, but basically he went on a whole rant about some like political thing, trying to relate it to something. And then he did that thing that like pastors or like just older guys do sometimes when they're trying to like pick an audience member to connect with so that everybody has a good time.
Like comedians.
Yeah, so he kept like mentioning or calling out me because I was sitting in the front row and I'm a girl, and
you're crying because you're at your grandma's memorial, but he's still like,
he doesn't know who I am. That's the thing, is he didn't really know anybody. So anyway, it was just like awkward, and we were all like, that was weird. And
I think we said it like out loud.
Probably.
I think your dad was like, that was weird.
Yeah. Just like they picked this really nice church and pastor, I think, for the memorial, and it was like her denomination, I think, and
it was all fine, but it was
awkward. Just like nobody really expected that. But anyway,
it was like a bad comedian.
Yeah, it was really it was so cringe, you guys. My grandma's memorial service.
Like your chance to be funny.
And then the best part about the memorial service was when my dad went up to the stand and talked about my grandma, and I'm gonna cry.
It
was really good. Yeah.
So that whole trip for you for the memorial was joy and sadness at the same time.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I feel like that's probably common for a lot of memorials because it's like it's so sad that like one of the main times everybody gathers together, and hopefully not too much family drama if you're lucky, but it's just like one of the main times all the close people are together. And so you're happy because you're all together and you're bonding, and then it's also like sad. So
yeah, when Suzanne died, my friend and roommate, when I think about her passing, like I just hold so much sorrow in me about it, but the thought of her brings me so much joy. Ugh. Because she would mess with me so much, and she had this like stupid motorcycle. It was so cool, but it's the reason I decided I never wanted a motorcycle. Because she would always get stuck somewhere in the rain, or she'd say, I bought 3 boxes of LaCroix and I can't get them home. Will you come pick me up?
Man.
And then I'd have to drive her the next day to go get her bike.
So when I met Sherelle for the first time, the place she was living in, her roommate Suzanne, that's where she lived, and yeah, she passed only a couple of years after that.
Yeah, she passed. She was coming to our wedding, and then she said she couldn't because she got sick, and then within 10 days she died.
Yeah.
So
Of COVID. So
yep.
yeah, there's lots and lots of people that have had to hold really deep grief because of knowing somebody that died of COVID. Yeah, and then during a pandemic, that would have been even harder to find some sort of joy and purpose in life.
Yeah, I think even our wedding, not to go on and on about joy and sorrow, but like even our wedding, you know, it was the most beautiful day I ever. I mean, I say that, but then like we've had a lot of beautiful days since then. But you know what? Like that's
the visual. Our photographer was great, Vincent.
well, like yes, hands down.
I think of all those beautiful photos,
Vincent
the
Poe,
scenery.
amazing.
Yes.
Anyway,
it was beautiful.
Portrait of a Young Couple. Just there. Go look that up. Anyway, like our wedding was one of the happiest days of my life. No, one of the most joy-filled days of my life. But also one of the most sorrowful days of my life because my parents refused to come. And it was amazing because my grandma walked me down the aisle, but it was sad because my dad refused to. So I feel like for years, and all of you queer kiddos know how it feels. Like we just, you know, if you're a marginalized person in any way, shape, or form, you know how it feels to hold joy and sorrow hand in hand. They just go together.
Yeah. Now that like we're talking about it, I feel like there's a flood of things that have been sad and joyful. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's
like I should have got you tissues.
No, it's okay. I just feel like there's so many that we could just continue to go down this whole of like moments that have been like a juxtaposition.
It's just joy and sorrow, joy and sorrow, joy and sorrow.
Yeah. And you know why, like, I feel like as humans, and this isn't always true, like I've never been truly like depressed or anything, but I feel like as humans we tend to want to always also give in to joy. Like if something that would make us joyful, like we try to accept it as well, even if we were feeling sad, because we want like that hope, you know. Like we want to hope for happiness. And I don't know, but you said something interesting the other day about like just sitting in it. You said like you've had a hard time in the past just sitting in sadness. How did that go?
Well, in my 20s, so I've experienced a lot of sorrow even before I met you. I've experienced a lot of trauma and sadness. I also experienced a whole hell of a lot of awesome highs of life. And I'm a true extrovert, and I'm also a person who always liked to be on the go, going to different countries with nothing but a backpack and a guitar. Like
legendary. Yeah,
like I just kind of did what the fuck I wanted. After freshman year of college, I decided this is not for me, and I left. So I've just been on a journey of doing what I needed for me and what I felt I was called to, and what I felt I could do the most good in the world doing. And it's, you know, it was in my late 20s that I was like, okay, now I need money. So right in time for you.
You're like, I'm smelling that I need some money. Yes. And here comes a lady.
Yes. Well, I need no. I'm saying that I started settling down like the year that I met you. And I don't think I would have noticed you had I not
stopped for one moment.
Yes. So in the times where I experienced sorrow, it was my go-to to just run to the next thing. You know, go to the next country, take on the next project, work with the next organization, just go. And it was nice because it was distracting, but it was also awful because it just delayed the grief.
Like you didn't have a place to just be safe and be happy and also just grieve in something.
That's not necessarily true, because in my 20s I started building really awesome community around me. So I had lots of people who were safe for me to let go and lots of people who were encouraging me to stop. I just didn't want to.
Oh.
You know, I was even in therapy and I was like, I don't want to stop. So.
Sometimes I feel like if you have gone through a lot, potentially you wouldn't want to even open those floodgates.
Yeah. And I see that a lot in like generations before us, where they just kind of bottle everything up and just keep muscling through and just accept this is how it is, I guess. And they just keep going. And I think I'm watching younger generations just get therapy, get help, and realize we just actually can't function and handle it without stopping.
You know what? I think I've been reading the same book as Sherelle, not that I'm copying her or anything, but I'm reading the Building a Non-Anxious Life by Dr. John Deloney, and one of the things he actually says in it is, which basically he's basically my therapist now.
He doesn't know this, and he's not getting paid.
Nope. But he mentions that joy and pain are on the same track, kind of like you to fully have one, you kind of have to fully have both of them. And if you bottle in one, then you're bottling in all of it. So I think that's kind of basically what you just said of like needing to have both.
Yeah, and how your body always keeps the score, right? Like, you might think that you're running from it. You might think that you're going to outrun it, but your body always knows we're not okay. And this thing isn't fixed. This thing isn't solved. This thing isn't healed. This thing isn't dealt with. I actually have some quotes from that book.
Oh?
Is that okay if I could read it?
Sure.
So I was reading it today. It's in my journal. Don't read it.
I love that you journal. By the way, I'm
This is one of my journals.
I'm so proud of you for journaling.
Thanks.
I think it's so it's so healthy, you know, like I don't know.
For me. What is that from?
It's from an Instagram video.
For me. Are you ready?
Yeah.
There is no non-anxious life without sadness. With sadness comes accuracy, but on the other side of grief is action, the discovery of meaning, or sometimes the creation of it.
Amen.
Your church site came out. Woo!
Yeah.
Here's another one. To create a non-anxious life, we must choose reality, and sometimes that means inviting sadness and grief as fellow travelers. Reality for all of us will involve hurt.
Yep. Yeah.
So
what
I
would
just
be
really like those.
Since you that's great. That's like gospel, I feel like. Since you're in a week and season of having something to be really sad about, that you are partially immobile for possibly months and career opportunities have been taken off the table, what are you doing now that you haven't done before? Like, what would you, I guess, give advice about being able to sit in it without totally freaking out or trying to distract yourself all the time?
I think you take it day by day, and I recognize that there are definitely seasons of my life where like this is devastating, but there are definitely seasons of my life where like I lost relationship with people that I loved, or I lost people that I loved, or you know, globally there are things going on. So I know we're not supposed to compare grief and all that stuff, but whatever you're dealing with, it all matters. I am recognizing like, okay, we're not supposed to compare it, but I also recognize there have been harder seasons that I've walked through than this. So that disclaimer aside, I think something that I'm doing is just taking it day by day. And I am sitting on the couch and I'm looking at my foot. Like I take my boot off, take my sock off, and I just look at my foot and I try to just accept, accept that it's swollen, accept that it's kind of deformed looking, accept that it hurts, and just love that limb. Like just love myself. Another practical thing I'm doing is instead of just turning on the TV or playing Zelda or talking to someone or eating something, like binging, instead of binging and numbing and distracting, I'm just sitting and I'm breathing and I'm allowing the feelings to come, and I cry or I rage, and then I journal about it. So I'm doing a lot more of that instead of numbing it.
That's awesome. Like you can feel the feelings coming on, or they're already there, and instead of like pushing them away, you just like sit in them, and you bring others in on it too. Like you don't hide by yourself. Like you accept a phone call that you think will be good for you even though you don't want to talk, or you'll ask me for just to lay with you on the bed for a few minutes, or like I love when you allow people to be close to you too, when you need it.
Yeah. And I'm also like leaning into the joy too, because our dogs are hilarious and our relationship is beautiful, and we're having so much fun in this season too.
Yeah.
Like it sucks, but there's a lot of really fun things that are happening too.
Yeah, you welcome the joy and the laughter and the silly moments.
Yeah. And if I happen to like randomly while we're watching TV together or listening to a really saucy book together, if I happen to start crying, I just kind of like let it happen instead of like trying to power through and get past it.
And you tell me and you tell people how you're really feeling, like I'm going through a hard time or I'm sad, and it's like, okay.
Well, what about you? Like you've walked through some really hard things too. Like what's your advice for people, or what did you do to accept the season?
Yeah, I don't know, like it's just looking back, one of the saddest things probably was like when I came out to my parents when we got together, and like we had to figure out that whole relationship and all of the baggage that comes with like Christianity and all of that stuff. I don't know. It didn't feel like one big moment of sadness, but it was just like a lot of slow kind of grief almost. Yeah, like a little moment. Yeah, like a little moment here where, oh, that's different than I imagined my life to be, or a little moment here of, oh, I feel treated differently in this way and that kind of sucks, or like, it just, or grief of seeing people treat us differently, or like your family treating you differently. It just, I don't know. So dealing with the grief of like realizing what it's like to be in a whole new experience as a person, as a queer person. And at like, I think 22 that I realized that. So, it was a lot of joy too, because I felt really, really free. Like I found this whole new relationship and I felt so free that I didn't have to believe all the same things I used to believe that were so restricting and kind of judgmental. Like I felt really free in all of that. Like almost like I had a ticket to freedom. Like, oh, I have to be with you because I love you. And that means I have to challenge this faith that was just so easy to accept before, but also hard. Anyway, I felt free, and I also felt like I was grieving those, the relationship changes, and And I know my parents never mean to, but they went through, accepting everything, and that hurts as a kid, like your parents struggling to figure out how to accept your reality is really hard. So I don't know how I guess I just, like you said, took it one day at a time. There were moments where I just didn't want to talk to people, or didn't want to deal with it and just wanted to be upset. And there were moments where I felt conflicted, and I gave myself and other people a chance to be close again, or I don't know. There were moments.
It a day at a time.
Yeah, there were moments where I took it a day at a time, and almost person by person of do I want to be vulnerable with this person, or do I I don't know. So it was just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You're
brave as hell to go through that, babe.
I know, but that's the thing too, is that's when we first got together, and I found the love of my life. So that's the most joyful thing in the world. There's nothing better than finding the person that you're just you're gonna be with, and just being so silly and so fun with them, and then grieving things. I think I even wrote a song about it. I wrote a song about how I was, just figuring out my identity, and it was just really vulnerable. And then we probably went and had burritos or something.
I thought you were gonna say we probably went and had sex. No, because we probably did that too.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah, we did.
I'm not gonna say.
We did.
I'm not gonna.
Lots and lots and
You
lots.
don't
of it.
know.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know really what you asked. Basically, it's messy, but it's holding both of it at the same time.
I think an important thing for me to remember this go around. Also, funny thing about when we first got together is that was another moment of grief and joy, because I had a major back injury. So I was laid up with a back injury when you and I started dating.
Yeah, you were like, this sucks that I have to be on the couch 24/7, but I get to be on the couch next to Megan. Yeah,
it's kind of awesome. And I don't think I would have stayed still long enough to get to know you otherwise. So. Anyway, what I was going to say is something that I'm remembering this go around, and one of my best friends taught me this, is honor the feelings that you have at the moment. And sometimes that means you don't rush towards forgiveness, and you don't rush towards healing, and you don't rush towards restoration and all those things, even though our religious faith would be forgive them because you deserve freedom.
Sometimes people skip the sorry step.
You get to be enraged because that's justice. That's honoring their hurt. You get to be angry that happened. You don't just get past it to let's forgive and let's restore. You have to feel the injustice first. Otherwise, everything that comes after is fake. So that's what I'm also doing this time. Not that there's really anybody to rage at except for you for pushing me.
Except for everyone.
But, that's an emotion. I get to be mad and irritated and angry. And I do give you disclaimers. I'm just grumpy today, just say. That doesn't excuse me to be a dick. That's just I recognize I'm already not in the best headspace. So I'm apologizing ahead of time when I don't choose to be kind.
Yeah. I feel like some emotions we can and probably should get over or change our mindset about. If you're irritated about stupid things, like I am sometimes, you need to just get out of that, because it's what's the point? But joy and sadness, I feel are two things that are just deep emotions tied to our identity and our personhood, and need to be felt fully.
Yep.
I think we should end on a joyous note. So.
Oh, go. I was like, why are you people looking at me so funny? Basically, your beloved sister sent us a funny question that she wanted an answer to.
Rachel, you are one of our most avid listeners, and we expect you to listen to every single episode from here on out.
Yes, so to honor you, Rachel, you are the very first question that we will answer from our awesome podcast family.
Also, if you would like to submit a question for us to answer or respond to, we have an email.
Hit Megan up at 825-525-5555.
That's probably somebody's real phone number. You don't know.
Sucks for them.
Our email is atterplayspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can DM us or something,
Okay, so Rachel sent us this funny question, and we're going to answer. I'm going to read it out loud. Okay. Thank you, Rachel, for the funny question.
Thank you.
I want to hear a question from you guys next. So who's next? Mm-hmm. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
If you had to choose one, what job do you think your partner would be the worst at?
Oh my gosh. I think you would be the worst at
what? Spit it out.
I don't maybe accounting or something.
I'm really good with numbers.
Well, okay, I second guessed
so
it.
Rude.
No, I second guessed it when I thought about it. Maybe an assistant event planner, because there's a ton of details and stuff.
I'm great at events.
Okay, I can't think of one.
Basically, you think I'm stupid.
No, I'm trying to think of jobs that are really high intensity, chaotic, lots of little details.
I'm good at all of those jobs though, and I've done them.
Okay, then maybe something really boring. Did you think of one for me?
I think you'd make a horrible police officer. Because you're afraid.
Hold up. Ah!
Any type of job where you actually have to be like your first
top dog.
Yeah, your first instinct needs to be protect.
Hey,
you just
get over here.
You're not intimidating at all. Not in that way.
What if I
you're intimidatingly hot, but you're not you're not intimidating physically like that.
I could put my hair in a tight bun.
I also think you'd make a bad farmer.
Yes, I wouldn't want to wake up so early every day and take care of poop and chickens.
Yeah, that's what you think farmers do.
I don't know. I mean, I've been to your parents' farm, but I haven't.
It's one thing.
I would be bad at. I would be very bad at farming.
I'm gonna take you to my parents' farm, and we're gonna muck out the goat stables.
Okay, I thought of a job you might be bad at.
What?
Also gross. I don't want to do that. Muck out the goat stables?
Yeah, it's alfalfa and urine and poop, pebbles.
Ew.
And a bunch of things that's just caked in there, and you have to take a big shovel and a wheelbarrow, and you have to wear wellies, and you gotta shovel it out, and you have to clean it, otherwise they'll get sick.
Okay. I think you would be really bad at as a fashion stylist.
That's so rude.
Maybe really.
I'm offended by all of this.
Wait. For
you think I'm not fashionable? Well, no. Of course I'm not. Of course I'm not fashionable.
No. I meant for runways.
I thought I looked pretty cool.
No. For
top model.
Yeah.
It's so boring. I don't care about that.
I feel like you look great. Just wear this thing and that thing, and you look great.
I feel like it'd be bad in college admissions, because I'd just be like, you don't need to be here.
Why? What?
I am you don't need to be here. You don't need to use your money on this. Go somewhere else. Go travel the world with a backpack. Have you considered that?
Okay, so you would be a bad college prep high school counselor, because my college prep high school counselors were like, okay, which 5 colleges are you applying to?
And I'd be like, why are you considering college?
You'd be like, have you thought about your life?
Have you thought about how you're going to pay for that?
Actually, you'd be really, really good at being a counselor for high school students.
What other job would you be bad at?
A lot. Construction, probably.
I was thinking construction because I've actually never seen you hit a nail into anything.
Okay, I've put up a lot of stuff in our house. Just so you know.
With a drill that I bought under
Just
duress
you
from you. You were like, we don't need this.
Okay. Well, we needed it. And now I use it like a boss.
Yes, because you have the patience to make it level.
You know what?
And I just kind of guess.
I think I would be bad as like a CEO.
I don't think so.
Not that I couldn't be powerful, but just like being such a big boss.
I feel like you'd be a good CFO.
Yeah. You're CEO type and I'm CFO type.
I think that you...
You would hate being a nail stylist.
Yeah, I was thinking like Cosmetology. Yeah, I was going to say Cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan. You'd be bad at that too, whatever that is.
I think you'd be a bad bartender.
Oh, yeah, let me shake this up.
Like, you're kind of clumsy, no offense.
It's just, wow.
Like, I just feel like I feel like it'd be chaos and you'd be guesstimating on things
in the kitchen.
and they wouldn't taste good.
Okay, I could learn how to
and you'd
make
be
it.
Flustered.
I would be a little flustered.
And things would be flying around.
You
and
asked
leaking.
for this and you asked, okay, yeah.
And then your hands would get sweaty and you drop the expensive tequila.
Whoopsie. And I'm not drunk because I'm on the job. I have no excuse. All right.
I thought of another one.
Oh gosh.
You would be bad in equestrian, like handling horses.
I've been horseback riding.
Have you handled the horses?
No. I also would not be a really good tour guide because you're
always lost.
I'm always lost.
You'd be like, this is
I feel like
at Notre Dame, and you'd be like, this is a really big old hotel.
It's because I'm not good at history and I'm not good at knowing where the heck anything is.
Great at a lot of things.
See?
Okay, give me one more that
one more.
Okay,
one more. Maybe like a seamstress.
That's so boring. Why would I want to be a seamstress? I would have more fun in prison. That's so boring. I would rather be locked up for a year than have to have a job as a seamstress for 6 months.
You'd be like poking yourself with the needles.
I would hate my life. You can forget about that. That I would absolutely hate it.
Yelling.
I would hate my life if I ever had to sew anything for anyone. The only time I'm willing to sew something is if I'm camping and my emergency sewing kit is being used to fix a hole in my pants or sew on a button. That's it.
I like
emergency sewing kit. Or I cut my flesh and I'm stitching my skin back together. Other than that, I don't need to sew anything.
Ooh, don't stitch it together. Just put a cloth around it and go to the hospital.
If I'm out in the wilderness, I'll just do it myself.
I would highly advise against it.
Well, here's another job you'd be bad at.
Okay, we got
paramedic.
No. I'd be good at that.
Really?
Yeah. I think. If I learned how to be good at it. But I like being empathetic with people. So like, I feel like I could do that. Like I can take care of people, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that you actually had a job in the food industry.
Everybody does when they're 16.
I guess. I didn't.
Okay.
My first job was a lifeguard.
Okay, Miss Hottie.
Just saying.
Lifeguard.
Yeah.
First job as a lifeguard. Yep. Well, I worked at Little Caesars and yeah.
That's not really. What kind of food is that?
Hot and ready.
So you were a stripper.
No.
You were
That's
woman of the night.
Highly inappropriate. I was 16.
Hot and ready. Oh, that's weird. That took a turn.
Way to be weird. I was 16 years old.
Anyway.
That's all I got.
You were hot and ready back then, and you're still hot and ready now.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, we're going to go because all of that pizza talk made me hungry for dinner.
Thank you for coming to our place, and email us if you want us to answer a question
or hit us up on Instagram. You can follow Speaking of Roses,
or YouTube, because we be doing YouTube.
Pretty much anywhere.
Spotify.
I think even TikTok.
I don't go on TikTok too much. To be determined.
TBD. Okay, love you guys. Thanks for coming over.
And I want to say, if you're holding sadness and joy, or just one of the two, we are with you. We love you. That's it.
Good luck.
Good luck. You got this.
Yeah, we believe in you guys. Thank you for coming over.